Yes, this is the Benda Chinchilla 500, a V-twin 2024 model year, bobber cruiser, 145 kilometers per hour max. We have ABS and traction control. We have a slipper clutch. The engine size is 475.6 cc, 35 kilowatts, 47 horsepower at 8,800 RPM. We have a belt drive. We have 42 Newton meters at 6,700. The seat height is 705 millimeters. The tank is 16 liters. We have a total curb weight of 215 kilos. The tires are 150/80/16 and 180/65/16. The price is 5,990 plus 300 on the road. The bike is only available in black and the warranty period is 5 years. So that's everything about the bike. Let's get quickly to the controls and the display. So on the left hand side of the handlebar we have the clutch lever here, which is a slipper clutch. It's fairly easy to operate, no problems there. For your index finger we have the turn on, turn off button here for the traction control. We have a light switch here, high beam, low beam. Apparently we don't have any passing light. We have the hazard light switch here. We have the turn signal switch here, and we have the horn right here. On the right hand side we have the throttle, the brake lever for the front disc brake, the emergency cutoff switch, and we have the starter switch right there. The display is an inverted LCD display with white on black. On the Honda Rebel it is kind of a little bit like yellowish on black, so the contrast on this one is a little bit easier, but still nevertheless not so good. Actually my camera will not get into focus here because the contrast is very bad and I have the sun shining here on it. So I just tell you quickly what you can see, or what you can usually see on the display. We have actually an RPM counter here on the left hand side, which is good. The Rebel does not have that. We have a clock, we have a speedometer, we have a gear indicator, we have a fuel indicator, and we have a odometer and trip, and we can only switch that around. We can also change the time, but that's everything you can do here on the display. Not much to play around with. One other thing I wanted to tell you here, since it's a cruiser bobber style kind of bike, the key has to go in here on the left hand side. Above that we have a quick charge 3.0 and type C USB connection all in one. Pretty nice. Since we have the ignition here, we have to go to the other side to lock the handlebar. Usually it happens like this when you have the key on the left hand side and you don't have it up there, so you have another cylinder for your key to lock the handlebar on the other side. So this is the Benda Chinchilla 500 2024 model year, all in black, only one color available, and we'll take it out for a little spin. Let's go. So the seat height is fairly low. I'm 175, 5'9". I can stand with the base of my feet on the ground fully. I'm fully planted, no problem there. The seat height 705 millimeters. The cruisers, bobbers usually are not very high, so it's not very intimidating. Of course it is not that light, 215 kilos they say, and the weight distribution is fairly down below naturally. So you know, if you kind of move to the left or to the right kind of extremely, you know, you have the impression that, you know, it's going to tip over or something. So you have to be a little bit careful maybe while maneuvering at fairly low speeds. Other than that, let's turn it on here. We have the key here. We turn it on here. turn off the hazard light and turn on the engine here. And we're ready to go. The controls for your feet are a little bit to the front, not really that much like on the Kawasaki Vulcan, not too bad, but a little bit more forward, I would say, than on the Honda Rebel. So a little bit more relaxed for your lower body here, which I always found not so good on the Rebel, because everything is kind of squeezed there on the Rebel because it's fairly low and you sit, you know, in this kind of weird position there, which I don't really like. The clutch comes in fairly late, but still fairly light. And maybe if you have just noticed if I go, it has a fairly strong tendency for 0 and 1. We have a very jerky throttle here, so I would suggest to be extra careful in the corners. Actually, the seat is not really that much of a cradle to put your behind in, but still it is actually acceptable. When you accelerate, you don't have the feeling that you are going to slip from the seat, which I always like. You know, I like a little protection here in the rear, that I cannot move backwards when I accelerate. I like that very much. Actually, on this bike here, not a problem at all. And the seating position is fairly upright. You don't really have to stretch too much to the front with your hands, with your arms. It's no problem. The seating position when you go a straight line is very upright, very relaxed. When you have very tight corners or so, it might be a little bit different, because you have to get used to the big front tire. And that's always a little bit challenging sometimes. I test rode the Harley Davidson Sportster about 2 years ago or so, and it had a really fat front tire. And I really did not like it, because it was very difficult to maneuver. This one is not like that, but it's going in the direction, because I mean, it is a fairly wide tire, and you notice that already. So it is better off actually on the straight line. Cornering is okay, but of course, you know, getting used to it, but not really that sporty. The shifting, clutching, everything is fairly smooth, although you still feel a certain click here. Yeah, the sound while riding, the sound while standing still is very nice on this bike. Some other bikes are very quiet because of the restrictions, I guess, but this one definitely is nice. Yeah, it is a cruiser, and you really get that feeling when you're on it. It's nice and loud. I would say maybe the maximum RPM is maybe around 9,000 or so. So you cannot really rev it up like a crazy maniac, but it's still acceptable for this range in which it is in. It is stable at higher speeds here, or higher speeds, 100. One thing that to notice though is that we have kind of strong vibrations actually. I'm a little bit surprised, but even at lower speeds, lower gears, we have vibrations at around 50 kilometers or so. And here actually I can feel it now. When you just accelerate a little bit, you have quite a lot of vibrations in the seat. And now coming into the foot pegs, and yeah, that is kind of a massage. You have to decide whether you're willing to take that massage or not. You know, I'm just want to tell you what it's like. We're near the end of our test ride here of the Benda Chinchilla 500. Nothing else to say. Yeah, there are some quirks with it, you know, like the vibrations, which I do not really appreciate personally. If you go fairly low speeds, maybe you will not encounter them. But here, you know, when I'm going on this highway here at the moment, strong pressure here on your legs and strong vibration, which do not make this ride very, very exciting. And yeah, other than that, it has a very nice design. Naturally, the quality is okay, or it's good actually, you know, good quality plastics here. And we have a good price. We have 5-year warranty, pretty nice. And that's all I can tell you here at the moment for the Benda Chinchilla 500 2024 model year. Thanks very much for watching. This is Benda Right Out. Take care. Bye-bye.